Okay, so here is my model of the lungs that I made. The different parts that you see here, this is the trachea. This is this where it comes down here and it branches off to the Y shape. Those are the bronchi. Those represent the bronchi, both the primary bronchi. And then the balloons represent the lungs. And then down here we have the diaphragm. So first I'm going to talk a little bit about each part and what it does. So right here, the trachea, this is also known as the windpipe. And it extends down from the larynx, which is also known as the voice box, into the chest cavity. And once it's in the chest cavity, right here where this Y is, it splits off to give us our two primary bronchi, the left and the right. And then further on down the primary bronchi, you will have the secondary and the tertiary bronchi as well. So that is the trachea. And then we have the chest cavity. So the chest cavity is being represented by this plastic bottle. And the chest cavity provides protection, a safe environment for the lungs to be in. So it protects the lungs, and it's also bound by the spine, the rib cage, and the breastbone. So that is our chest cavity. And then further down, you'll see the lungs, and within the lungs, we have these tiny little air sacs called alveoli, and that is where gas exchange occurs between the blood and the external air. So the trachea and the bronchi, right here, this serves as a pathway for air to enter and exit the lungs. So further down, we have our diaphragm. The diaphragm is a muscle that separates the chest cavity from the abdominal cavity. And this is an important part in the breathing process, inhalation and exhalation. And it expands and contracts as we breathe. So there's an example of it. So I'm just going to show a close-up of my model functioning, so you can see. So as we pull the diaphragm down, the balloons will expand. So that's representative of your lungs taking in air. Okay, so as we pull this diaphragm down, it contracts and the respiratory muscles move outward. And as the volume in the chest increases in the chest cavity, air pressure decreases in the lungs. So there's shows you doing that. Now, as there is a decrease in pressure, this causes the air to be drawn through the trachea and the bronchi into the lungs. And as you can see, the balloons fill up with air and expand. You can kind of hear it, the air coming in through the trachea, but it's hard to hear. So when you release the balloon at the bottom, the diaphragm relaxes. That's when it relaxes, and the volume in the chest cavity decreases. The air is then forced out of the lungs, and the balloons contract to their original state as the air is expelled out of the lungs. So as you breathe in, you're breathing in oxygen, and as you breathe out, you're breathing out carbon dioxide. So this is my balloon model, and it was actually super fun to put together. And again, here is it operating. Okay, thanks for watching.